Hi, this is Ed again, and we are here in my YouTube channel called Atheist the Bird with No Cage. And by the way, despite my wife's suggestion that I don't do it, I'm going to tell you my age because I think it's significant. I'm currently 81 years of age as of April. And I've been saying my age for a long time, but now I'm thinking that possibly I'm among the elders in people who do YouTube channels. My YouTube channel is very small and I have very few followers, but I'm just thinking of all the YouTube activists, not only atheist activists or religious activists, but anybody. I might be, I would imagine I'm at least among the elders, and it would be interesting to know if there's anybody older than I am doing it. Anyway, today I've got this basic idea I want to talk about because I heard, I watch a lot of YouTubers, and I heard one YouTube channel talking about, it was a guy and a girl discussing the idea of, is it better to be maybe to live your life as an atheist or a religious person? And of course, let's see, the woman, the girl, was trying to make the point that she thought it was better to be religious, and the guy was trying to make the point that it was better to be atheist. And I found it an interesting question that I had never thought about before, because to me, it's the kind of thing if somebody says, why do you choose to be atheist? My answer is, I don't choose, I just am atheist. I do not believe in any of the God things. So it appears not to be a choice to me. Meanwhile, many religious folks say, they claim it is a choice. You can choose to believe or not believe. And I challenge them on that, because I don't think we do just choose to believe. I think we're convinced by something. Now, one of the things about being an atheist is I don't have to choose anything. I just listen to what religious people say, why they believe in some deity or that kind of thing, and I want to know what their reason is, and I've never heard any reasons that make it seem believable. Oops. So I just don't, in fact, at this point, I look around and I think I can safely say I can't believe in the idea of a deity. Maybe partly because I have, when somebody uses the word, and we all use the word God or deity, I don't have any idea what they're talking about. And if I ask them to explain what it is that they believe, like what is this deity, I don't get, I get nothing. There seems to be just something that exists somewhere. Maybe the closest to a description would be a disembodied mind. That means a thinking process without a brain or any body or something. And I can't find any, I don't find any solace in that. any feeling of satisfaction. With me, if I compare, part of my problem is, I think I pretty much have to say that I never was a believer in my life. There was never a time when I had any sensation or any feeling that there was something up there called a God or a deity. I don't think I ever had that. There was a time when I said I did. There's people say, "Oh, do you believe in God?" And me, "Oh, of course. You know, everybody believes in God." But the truth was, when it came down to it, I didn't, because I didn't even know what they meant when they said this God. I guess the guy talked about it in the Bible and whatever, but anyway, I think it is a kind of an interesting question to ask. Maybe if we asked our non-believers like me, Glenda, and maybe a few other people in our family, is it a better way to live your life as a non-believer, or are you better off to be a believer? The big thing, I think, that as a non-believer that I can say is that I'm stealing a line from Seth Andrews now. He did a show that on his podcast called The Thinking Atheist. He did a whole show, and he was talking about one of the things he said that he liked about being free from religion, so to speak, is that when he had been, unlike me, he had been really religious until he was in his 30s, actually. And he said one of the things that, looking back, that he almost found embarrassing was that being a believer made him talk like an idiot. That's his words, not mine. And that's one of the things that I guess it's kind of a negative. As a non-believer, I don't ever have to say stupid things. I don't have to say I believe in things that are ridiculous. I don't have to believe in talking animals, you know, like a talking snake or a talking donkey, a talking burro, or a guy living in a whale for, actually the Bible says a fish, a big fish. What was his name? Not Noah. What's the name of the guy that... Ahaz?
Ahab?
No. In the Bible, he lived in the fish.
Oh, I don't know.
Noah and somebody in the whale.
Yeah.
Jonah, yeah. So, one of the nice things about not being religious, I don't have to try to make an argument for that. I don't have to claim that I believe that this guy, Jesus, called Jesus, walked on water, or another guy made the sea part magically. I don't have to. Not only I don't have to believe it, but the problem with religion is not that you have to believe it, but you have to argue for it. You have to admit and claim that you do believe it. So that part of it, for me, is better. 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Okay, just a couple more minutes. the part that I see about being religious is that as a non-believer, there really is community, you know. That's the thing, that if you're religious, you belong to a church, whatever church, there's a group of people there that you can go with them and be with them, and it's like an extended family, and you go, yeah, and they all, with each other, they talk about love and those wonderful kind of things. So really, as an atheist, you do not have that kind of, I've heard the joke made, when you get atheists together and you try to organize them, it's like trying to organize cats, a herd of cats, because there is no common thing that we agree about, except the thing we all agree that we don't believe that a God exists. So anyway, that's just a little bit of a stab at the question of whether life is better as an atheist or as a religious person. If you're talking about, one of the huge things is, if you're a religious person, it's easy to find people who agree with you. In other words, are religious. And it's pretty easy, whichever one of the thousands of Christian sects you choose, you can easily find people, or at least be with people that agree with you. With atheists, the only thing we have is we do not believe that any deities exist. So I guess I'm not making a firm claim either way. If you want to live a life where you get less opposition, it's easier to be a religious person. If you want to live a life that feels more like things like truth are more important to you, and I don't have to believe in any fairy tales or anything like that, then I think being a non-believer, being an atheist, or however you want to identify yourself, non-believer or skeptic or humanist, non-believing humanist, whatever. So once again, I'm Ed, I'm 81 years old. So if you've seen any of these videos before, you're not surprised that I'm a little scattered, and my thinking is not always organized or cogent, but I don't really want to come down hard on the question, was it better to live as an atheist or a religious person, one side or the other. For me, the thing that Seth said is, one thing I love about being a non-believer is I never get trapped in the position of having to say I believe stuff like, animals talking. I never have to claim that that's true or try to defend it as those kinds of, I refer to them as fairy tale type things as being true. So I'm Ed. This is, once again, Atheist, a Bird with No Cage. Thanks for following along, and we'll talk to you again in another video. Thanks, Jose Luis.